What's going on, my brother? Good morning. This video is more targeted towards my younger self, but I have the need to record this because I feel like maybe you can relate to this and take some advice or inspiration or whatever it is. Essentially, you might be living at home, you might be living with your parents, and you might feel like that this is getting in the way of your productivity, your self-improvement, your business ventures, your goals in life, your purpose in life. Maybe you have a certain schedule that you want to live by. You want to wake up early, you want to go for a run, make a tea, get into deep work, whatever, and you want to sleep really early. But the governing schedule of the household which you are currently in, living with your parents, living with your brothers, your sisters, whatever, you have a family, is different to the one that you want to adapt. And so what happens is there's a conflict, right? Because most times you go to sleep at 8, but sometimes you end up having a family dinner late, right? Or something happens, guests come over, people come over, and it's loud in the house. Or you guys end up going somewhere because your parents force you to or something. Essentially, there's a conflict. And so you end up missing that night's sleep, and you end up sleeping later, and you don't end up getting so much as rest, and your schedule is kind of broken the next day. You wake up late, you're a bit tired, whatever. So there's a bit of conflict there. Or it could be something like just the fact that you want to eat once a day, right? Every day they have breakfast, lunch, dinner, and you want to eat just dinner. And it's a conflict, again, because you're expected at the dinner table every time. It's expected to be a family event, right? And for you to distance yourself, well, I guess some people could be understanding, but most people would be like, wait, you don't want to be a part of the family, whatever, right? Essentially, there's a conflict. You have a certain way of living life. You have certain goals. You have a major purpose in life, and you're trying to do everything to achieve it. But it feels like everything that is in your current environment is currently against you and is constantly in conflict with you. Because this was me until very, very recently. I haven't moved out. I haven't changed it. But what I realized is we actually do it to ourselves, because it goes back to, if it's in your control, change it. If it's not in your control, live with it, right? Why would you judge it? Why would you even give it a thought? You can't control it, okay? Just drop it immediately. And so a little bit of story about my background, living with parents, mum, there's no mother, unfortunately. But I've got I got 3 brothers with my dad. We're living at home, yada, yada, yada. Okay, my schedule, I wake up at 5:30, I do my thing, I get up and come out and do some recording of videos, whatever, right? Currently right now I'm at the park. And then it's like, come back home, you're eating, you're doing this, you're doing that, workout, whatever. But essentially what happens is there's a conflict, right? Because I can't get into deep work in the morning, because what happens is I come back here at 8:30, 9, I come back home, and then I only have about an hour maybe, or half an hour before the rest of the family wakes up. And then it's noise, it's, distractions, it's like they're making breakfast, getting ready, they're talking to you and stuff, and you lose the momentum, you lose the focus, and you get a bit pissed off afterwards. So there's conflict there. And then, for example, some days it's like, all right, let's do something all together. Let's go out to eat. Let's go to a restaurant. Well, guess what? You've been on your diet for like 15 days and you can't afford to break it, but you also have to go. And if you don't go, it could be a conflict. So all these situations are pretty much preventing us from achieving or doing the steps to at least achieve our full potential. But we can't stop there. We can't just victimize ourselves. Because as much as it hurts, and it did for me, I lived in this mentality for a really long time. Oh, I just want to move out. Oh, I can't even start. I'm constantly getting distracted. I'm getting this, I'm getting that. I'm not even going to do YouTube until I move out. I won't take self-improvement seriously until I move out. Okay, cool. But I'm hurting myself. I'm purposefully creating a reality for myself which is negative and against me, and it reduces my energy, and I start to feel like shit. Why am I doing that? Well, I was ignorant. I didn't know. Okay, cool. Well, as your older brother, I'm here to tell you, man, we are doing it to ourselves. We are victimizing ourselves. We are creating that reality for ourselves, because guaranteed, when things like this happen, pay attention to the responses in your head. You start formulating all these negative thoughts. You start coming up with all this judgmental labels and, you know, all these titles and statements that you start to make. Pay attention to all of that, man. It's all bad. Like, don't do that stuff. Go back to the 2 questions. Can you change it? If you can change it, change it. Change your environment. Change this, change that, move out, right? If it's not in your control though, drop it. You have to drop it. There is no point on complaining about something that's not in your control, because what are you hoping for? What are you hoping for? Like, nothing's gonna happen because it's not in your control. Sure, you can vote, you can do this, you can do that, but dude, it's not in your control. So why are you getting upset? Right? Just leave it be. Anytime you get upset about something that's not in your control, I think it's insanity, and you're just creating this fucking negative, you know, completely negative dimension for yourself, which you live in. And trust me, man, I've been there. I recently came out, and this is how I came out, essentially. All right, cool. In the morning, I can't do deep focus work, so I'm just going to drive to the park, which is where I am right now. It's about 8 o'clock, and I can stay here for another 2 hours, completely distraction free. I'm in the car park. There is nobody around. I'm in the comfort of my own car. I can record completely distraction free. I can completely focus. I don't have to put my voice down. I don't have to put my voice up. I don't have to do anything but focus and record this video. So as simple as a solution, I cannot change the fact that people are going to wake up and I am going to get distracted and I can't focus and I'm just going to throw the day to shit. Okay, instead of living in that mentality, what I did is I just went somewhere else. I just changed my environment for the time being, right? Okay, and for sure, in some cases, it's very unrealistic, right? Because maybe your purpose is game development, right? You can't actually just unplug your PC and just go somewhere else and do that, right? So in that case, you'd have to come up with another solution, and maybe the solution is wake up early, or stay up late, or do your work in a period where people aren't around you, for example. Or you might want to move your computer setup into your own room, close your door, you know, get like a little sign, hey, keep out, busy, doing work, focused. But there are solutions. There are solutions to every problem. I heard a good quote, I think this morning. It was like, every problem is a skill problem. And in this situation, we lacked the skill of understanding what is in our control and what is not in our control. That's all. Every skill is a skill problem. And once you can develop that skill, or once you realize that skill, then it's easy, because sometimes you have the skill, you just don't know when to use it. For example, in this case, right, you might be into stoicism. Dude, I've been into stoicism for a while. I knew about this concept. I just didn't know when to use it. And so you might be the same. You just didn't know. So here you go. If it's in your control, change it. If it's not in your control, drop it. So that mentality really, really changes my life, because suddenly now I don't feel bad. I don't feel this hatred. I don't feel this, you know, negativity, this bitterness towards my family or my, surroundings, because I don't feel victimized. I don't feel like they're doing this to me. I felt like I did this to me. And you know what that means? You know what that means when I can take full responsibility over everything? That means I also have the full power to change it. Because if it's everybody else's fault, how are you going to change it? You can't. They have control over you, right? So there is no hope. There is nothing. It's just completely victimized. It's negative. And to be honest with you, I don't want to be anywhere near you. And I wouldn't want to be anywhere near myself either a couple weeks ago. So stop that victim mentality. Literally, do not give people the power that you think that they have over you. It all comes from the realization that everything you do to yourself. And therefore, you have total control to change it. Because think about it this way too. If you feel like your friends are negative and you're constantly victimizing yourself and you're saying this about your friends and how they prevent you from doing this, whatever, well, you've just given full control to them. And what you'll do is you'll linger in that relationship like a little fucking peasant, right? You will linger in that relationship, constantly put yourself down. And once they are finally done with you, once they are finally fed up with you, you'll be like, oh my God, I hate everybody. Instead, you can just realize, okay, I cannot control the fact that these people are behaving this way. Maybe they are born this way, maybe they just act this way, maybe they think it's okay, maybe at some point I didn't stand up for myself and therefore they thought it'd be okay to keep going. Whatever the reason, I cannot change the fact that this person is treating me this way. Okay? What is in your control then? You can drop them, you can stand up for yourself, you can tell them to go get fucked. So why are you victimizing yourself? If you realize that these people are doing X to you and you take full responsibility and say, you know what, all this way that I'm feeling about these people is my own fabrication, then you can just be like, okay, I'm gonna stop. So you stop hanging out with them. So therefore you stop fabricating negative thoughts. And therefore your energy isn't as shit anymore every single day. And I'm saying this because this was me. Again, this was me. So if anything, this is a video directly to my younger self. Don't do that, man. With anything. And you know what? Sometimes you have to also realize that maybe currently sacrifices have to be made. Because if you can't do everything that you want to do, that doesn't mean you shouldn't do at least 5 of it. Just because you came up with this perfect fucking schedule and it has every single habit from meditation to spa to sauna to gym to breath work to even grounding outside bare feet, and you can't do 100% of it, that doesn't mean you shouldn't do 20% of it. So what I'm trying to say is, if you get your deep work done, your meditation done, your breath work done in the day, but you fail to hit the gym, don't feel bad, bro. Don't feel bad. It's the environment that you're in. And if it's out of your control, if you can't currently move out, okay? Or if you can't say to your parents, oh, you know what, I'm done with you guys. You don't have any money, you don't have anywhere to go, whatever. You just cannot move out right now. If you can't do that, okay, then don't complain about not being able to move out. That's the worst thing you can do, right? But what you want to do is adapt your dream schedule to your current reality and sacrifice that. Because essentially what you're doing currently is developing your purpose, and you hope to, in return, you know, in the future, make a little bit of an income from it. So what you can do right now is prioritize what's important to succeeding at that step, disregard everything else, adapt that schedule to your current reality and your current situation. And what can you control about moving out? The fact that you can make money. So just focus on that. Don't complain about not being able to move out. Find ways for you to prioritize the highest ROI tasks that can possibly make you an income. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Because again, this was me. I hesitated from recording so many videos because I constantly thought I was going to get disturbed. Somebody was going to walk in and call my name, and something was just going to happen where it's just going to disturb my video, my focus. I can't record at home. I can't do anything at home. So instead, I'm just coming to the park, bro. So instead now, rather than, you know, trying to hit the gym every day and do this every day and meditate every day and do yoga every day and live out my completely favorite ideal lifestyle, I am focusing on the highest ROI. Learning, practicing, and recording videos. Because this is the part that I can control. I cannot control moving out right now. I can control the money I'm making for it. I have a job, right? I can control the work that I'm putting in to make that money in the future as well. So there are a few things I can control, bro. Again, please don't victimize yourself, man. Please don't do it. I'm looking at you, you're young, you're ambitious, and you don't realize it, but your biggest enemy isn't the people around you. Your biggest enemy is your mind, man. And the sooner you realize this, the sooner you can realize all the fabrications that your mind comes up with when you're least aware. And I hope you can embed this philosophy of what is in your control, change it. What it isn't in your control, drop it. And take full responsibility for everything that happens to you. And you'll realize that you have so much more sovereignty and control over your life than you otherwise thought and imagined. Brother, thank you for chipping in. I showed up today and I hope you really did too. We're all gonna make it, man. Have a fucking blast.